There we go. Alrighty.
All right, we lost some minute or two there of video for some reason.
Got the spacer in there.
So you want to make sure the spacer is in there before you put the bearing on there.
Perfect.
Even though I already knew it from before, but you double check. Somebody might have come by and accidentally took it out of there.
You might have borrowed it for another project
they might have needed it for something. Maybe the camera guy needed a pinky ring.
You never know.
Yeah, so that's why you always double check before it goes together.
I know that I've done a really crappy job at running the camera, so I'm just hoping that...
Did you read the comments?
I haven't read the comments. I'm hoping that someone else has done a far crappier job.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those.
Not to...
Let's see, on the first group of videos you did, you got some favorable comments about your quality of filming. They liked the close-ups when we were doing the millwork.
Really?
Yeah, they did like that.
Nice.
So, and then the comments on the last group we just filmed up, there was a few other comments that weren't quite as friendly. I think the one that said it was, you all suck, but you weren't the worst one.
Oh, nice. Nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is the first time I've ever used a camera.
It's like you did last week.
Well, yeah.
Technically. Okay.
Second time I used a camera.
Okay, now your case is not dropping like the last one did. See, so that means you're not quite loose, maybe? Oh, it's loose. It's really loose. Okay, so you have a race fit case here. See how loose that is? Yeah. I should be able to pick it up and just go straight up and down with this. Ready?
Negatory.
Okay, so this is far looser than the other one I did. Now this is a little bit tight for a race bike, but this is my starting point for racing fit. So that means we're going to take out, I took out 1.5 thou on the other motor. I think we're going to have to take out probably at least 2 out of this one. This one was at 10 on the gauge, or the spacer. I already checked it before, remember? So we're going to have to, we're going to drop this down to like an 8 or 7 3/4 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Because you are not going to drive it that hard, I can tell already. You are just not that kind of a guy.
What?
All right, and if you notice the press is already set up because I just got done doing it the other day.
Perfect.
You also notice these Evo studs sticking out. They're getting away my tool, my other projects over here.
See that.
Somebody's a little slow on getting work done. All right, this is getting a little bit heavier than it used to be though. All right. If you can't pick up a motor by the crank, you probably shouldn't be doing that. This goes out a lot easier than that last one. The last one, the case almost felt like it was going to break in half. Okay, now we have to support the crank so it doesn't drop on the table and knock it out. And yes, that does make my back feel very nice.
Perfect.
Not quite the word I would use, but yeah, definitely. Okay, so we are no longer going to use all these components now. So we are now going to get rid of 4 pieces out of that kit. We're only going to keep 2 parts. Which 2 parts are those?
Bearing number 1, bearing number 2.
That about covers it. There you go. All right. So we happen to have just a couple here to choose from.
Wow.
Now you know where these come from?
Heaven or China?
Every motor I do, I steal them out of them. There's only a couple things you do not get back in used parts. I don't give you an option to have a used part come back. This is one thing you will never get back. Unless it's really screwed up, you ain't getting it back, because I use them. So, this one here is what size?
10.
10. Okay, put that over there so you don't mix it up. Okay, what side is this?
It says less 10.
Less than 01.
Less than 01.
This one says what? 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
That means there's 2 things in that package. So you get the idea how this goes?
4, 6, and we're looking for 8.
Evidently these got mixed up last time. 5 and 6, 7, and
there we go.
8. So we're going to be somewhere in this area right here.
7, 8 range.
Yep.
Even though that this has all been measured and measured again and then sealed in a pack.
It is impossible
it.
to pre-fit a bearing because it's not under a loaded condition when you have it. So it's impossible to do that. Because when the bearing goes in here, it gets shrunk. When the bearing goes over the shaft, it gets expanded. So how can you have a preset number?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, this one here is 7 1/2 to 7 1/4. Oops. Oh, that one's dirty. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's probably going to be too much. That's the same. And this one is probably going to be the same deal. Nope, this one's a big one. Good. This is what we're looking for. This one's about 7 3/4 to 7 5/8. See?
7. Gotcha.
So this is going to knock it down by 2 1/4. Now these things do not go up by even sizes. They always put it in the middle of the range. So this is between 6 1/2 and 7 1/2. The next one would be 7 1/2 to 8 1/2. So when you got marked like this, it could be up sometimes the same size in either bag. So I kind of round it off a little bit. Okay, so this one's a 7 3/4, which is probably what half of these in here are. But okay, we're gonna try this one. You want to make sure it's clean. Run my fingers over it, make sure it's good. Make sure there's no damage on it. You can see we already measured it, so it's pretty even. Sometimes they vary quite a bit. Which is bad. Oops. Put this down on that. Make sure your rods are on each hole where they belong and not both in one. It's hard to run as a single with double rods.
I can see that being challenging.
That would be, yeah, the bore is not quite big enough for that.
Usually you'd probably figure that out when you're...
Now those twin cam motors have big bores in them things, and you can put 2 rods assembled. You can't do it on this motor. You can do it on those motors.
Do you think you'd catch it once the pistons were on?
You maybe. I never tried running 2 pistons in one hole before. That'd be different. That'd give me like a backup on my race bike. That would work good. That half track, you flip on the other one.
Is that cheating if you're running a one longer?
They might call that double sided if you got 2 pistons. Hey, look at that. Yeah, that might be.
Let's check the rule book.
No, that'd be in a gray area. That means it's open game. It's one thing about land speed racing. A lot of those rules are pretty gray. They think they're hard cut, but nah, they're pretty gray actually. You can push it pretty good. If you want to. See how the case is starting to fall now? That means we're getting close. I like it when it rotates by itself. That means you're good.
That's a good sign.
See, look at that. That means you're close. Now the reason they do that before is because it was so bound up from being like this, it was binding. Now that we're on the rollers, it's rotating.
Oh, I gotcha.
And see now the rollers are locking up as you go like this. It's not tapered bearings are tapered, so the rollers drop down from gravity. So to free them up, you got to turn them 1 turn or 2 turns around. Now listen to it when I do it. When I first do it, and I'll see it goes to 0. See? No, it has no clearance. Understand?
So it's dropping down into it.
It locks up.
Right, gotcha. I gotcha.
So you only get the true clearance on the first hit. It's still pretty loose. And so we can probably pull another thou out of this to at least a half a thou.
Gotcha. make it race ready.
Well, this is where I come down to how hard are you actually going to ride this bike? Because that's pretty loose. Are you going to ride like a Sportster, run the piss out of it, wring its neck, or are you going to be more subdued about just running the hot rod?
I'm pretty hard on vehicles.
Okay, so that means we want to keep it fairly loose, but not quite that loose. Now you do realize I did not make the other side that loose. You're supposed to do them kind of equal.
Mm.
So if you're going to run it that hard, I need to loosen up the other case a little bit.
We better do that.
See, the owner has to be kind of semi-honest to build your motor correctly. There's goo down there for some reason. Can I just do this?
Yeah.
So what number we got right now?
7 3/4.
Yep. To 7 5/8. Right in everything. So we're going to drop it down a little bit. So we drop it down 3/4 of a thou or just half a thou. Damn it. Get higher. So you say you're going to drive it hard, right?
That would be the case.
Okay. So. Well, he's measuring bigger now. Ooh. That's a big drop. That's about the same as that one. This one's slightly bigger. Okay, this is our biggest one so far. No, we were at 7 3/4, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
These are all down at 5.5 to 6. This is our biggest one. I think we're 6 1/4. Way too much of a drop. Okay, so none of these work. And none of those. We have a gap in here that we can't do anything with. So we're in the limbo size. We're in between 6 and 7. Because these are all 7 plus. And these are all barely 6.
Mm.
So we're in between. All of the ones that are in the in-between area have been used. So I'm going to double check the 8s and see if there's anything to be had there. Nope, that's 8. There's that one. Oh, there we go. Somebody has put the 8 in the wrong spot.
Money.
7. It's actually 6 8 to 7. Somebody has mixed these things up. Which is a good thing because we're saving that for a special application.
This would definitely be the special application.
We'll just double check to make sure there's no other hidden jewels over here. Okay, this one's 7 3/4. It's basically the same size as those. So is this one. Okay. So the problem we got is we're doing a big drop. And you say you want to drive fast. Okay. So this is 6 3/4. That's definitely on the low side. Seven and a half. 7 3/4. You measure these in multiple locations because they're not always flat like you'd think they would be. It's about 7 5/8. That's probably the one we used. This one is about the same as that one. And this one is the money one, I think. Try this one. That's the next one down from that. That's a 1/4 thou less than that one. These are about where we're at. The problem was we were at 7 3/4 we checked with, is what we used. See, it's 7 1/2 right here, which is nothing of a drop. We're going to go with a small one. I don't think the other one's going to be much of a drop. Parts of it would, parts of it aren't. Hear the elbow knocking?
Mm-hmm. It's consistent.
Yeah, well, it's about 5 times in a row. Okay. It's still dropping a little bit. I think it's good enough for you. Give it a quick feel. You rock it, not lift it. Feel it?
Yeah.
Give it a spin around now. You're already locking it up.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's what you're feeling for, see? Now right now we're still loaded, but this is tight.
Right.
If you had the S&S tool where you ratchet it down, you wouldn't have this load on it. You wouldn't be able to check it. You'd have to actually trust the bearings to be correct, which is a stupid plan.
Yeah, you'd never, yeah.
Well, we've gone from a 10 thou thickness to a 6 3/4. That's 3 1/4 thou drop. And these are not 1 to 1. This is more, it's like 1 1/2 to 1 you take out clearance. We probably took out 5 thou end play. So that's how close they're not. And that's a genuine Harley bearing.
Right.
The bearing I did yesterday was we took out 2 thou clearance, or 1 3/4 thou, I think, 1 1/2, 1 3/4. That was my normal brand of bearing. They're still all Temkin, it's just matter where you buy them. But those are the first 2 I've had that have been loose. Most of the time they're tight by a lot. I always usually wind up putting 1 thou extra clearance in these things. Rarely do I take it out. So, okay, that's a nice good fit. Now, if you really want to know how much in play you got, you leave it assembled. You put that crank on it, put a couple bolts in there, and you can actually feel the in play in the case. I mean, in the flywheel.
Gotcha.
It's not the same as what this feel is.
Right.
So sometimes it feels like there's no clearance. You put together in there, you spin it, and you got your 3 or so you need.
Right.
So if you really want to know what you got, that's what you do. I don't want to know, so I'm just going to put it together. I know it's a lot tighter than it was. Let's put it that way.
Right, right.
You know, next problem is you think you go faster now, so now we got to figure out where our pinion bearing is at. Remember, we already fitted it up the other day.
Right.
So we want to make them kind of equal. You want to have one more than the other. Okay, that's 7 now. So it's a good thing we had that 8th thou one in the wrong thing. So there's your 6, your 5, your 4. This was 10. See, I was using a lot of 9s for a while. I ran out of them. And I'm gaining back a couple here and there now. Now you can actually buy these from a couple different suppliers now. It used to be you could never buy the damn things. So they're making it a little bit easier to do this. Now the only reason I can think they're having where you can buy them now is they probably have a lot of problems with it. They're not made right. If enough people are asking for them. It used to be in the old days, the bearings were good. So the quality has changed for some reason. Not sure where the errors are coming in at. Okay. Now we got to check to see how that fits onto this. Okay, now I want to see we got real clearance. See that locked up in the case?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it locked up in the case. That's doing that?
Yeah.
Should be doing that.
That's less than good.
I don't understand why it's doing that. It's easy, there's plenty of room. I think the bearing's loosening up over there. It's definitely really tight in some part of the case. Okay, so now I'm going to take this half, go like this with it. And we're going to see if we have about the same amount of clearance. See how you go down until you hit the bottom, you lift up about 1/8 of an inch, and you check it. So you got about the rock in there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit tighter than you can drive it hard. Yeah, so you can feel that yourself. It's a little bit snug for abusive driving styles. Blowing up so much. Yeah, pull that thing back. Okay, go feel it. Lift about 1/8 of an inch up. See how loose it is? Or fairly tight. We'll make some decision and we'll be back.